Hmm. Howdy, y'all. Rudranik David, the happiness lady. I even wrote a book about it. Choosing happiness. An uncommon way to find joy in your life. Well, what did I want to talk about today? It's been an interesting day. Long one. But it started out in the most beautiful way. I did my normal connecting with Mother Earth. I'm looking at my window over here. It was a very sunshiny day. We hadn't had a lot of those recently here in Nashville, Tennessee, where I reside. And I was grateful it wasn't raining or snowing. It was 31 degrees, but it got up to 65, which is why I took off my sweater and I put on my little hoodie. A little plug for Nashville here, the Hard Rock. We got one of them too. Yeah. So there I am in my hot tub, enjoying nature, talking to the birds, all the stuff, the elementals. Elementals, you ask. What are the elementals? Well, that's been coming up a lot lately. That's not the conversation, but I'm going to start with that because the elementals. Well, let me read you a little something. Get my big girl glasses on so I can see the words. I have this taped on my fax copier thingy. I've had this thing for so long. It's amazing. I think I've had it probably 15 years or more. No joke. Okay. So I sort of remember when I got it. The elementals are gratitude, silence, joy, allowance, possibility, happiness, dedication to creating futures, peace, calm, kindness. Kindness. That's my religion, y'all. Kindness is my religion. Yeah, patience. I could use more of that, right? Humor and lust. That's right, I said it. Lust. That's also an elemental. Lean into the energy of that. So there I was in my hot tub this morning, connecting with all the elementals that want to contribute to me. Yeah, everything has consciousness. Everything has consciousness. Everything has consciousness. I've discovered. Everything talks to me, right? So here I am in my hot tub, and this little squirrely squirrel comes along the fence and starts talking to me. And seriously, I'm like doing this little energetic with this squirrel, and it notices that I'm noticing and starts doing this. I'm like, dang, shebang bang. That is so cool that I am communicating with a squirrel, y'all. A squirrel. Part of that is the elementals, right? Connecting with the peace, the joy, and the lust, even the lust of being in this planet and enjoying it. That's lustful as well. So here I am communicating with a squirrel. There's lots of birds going on around now. They're hungry. And I got all these little berry trees, and they're like, oh, look at this tree, like 40 freaking birds in the tree. I'm like, thank you for choosing my yard. I planted all my landscaping to benefit the winged things, the birds, the bees, the butterflies. I actually have bees at the end of my driveway that are creating a nest underground where the water main is, which is not the best place for them to be. So they'll be okay for the winter. I was told to not worry about them bees. And we're going to move them to the backyard. They chose my yard, y'all. We're going to move them to the backyard and build a whole thing for them. We're going to help them out. We're going to take a little tasty taste of the honey and all the stuff. I'm going to share it with all my friends. And I'm so honored that this queen bee actually chose. I feel like she chose me. She chose the yard. Granted, they did park right next to where I planted all these things for winged things. So there they were. Nectar of all the flowers and things got going on at the end of the driveway. Oh, and an angel got its wings. Sorry, didn't cut this off. Anyway, I digress. That's how my lovely day started. And then I was super excited because I realized I was going to be recording another episode for my podcast. And my guest, I had been kind of, I don't know, stalking her because I've been watching her create her life beyond what I see a lot of people doing right now. A lot of people are in fear, and face it. The pandemic And then, everybody got to go back out again. And now there's this fear, everything costs so much money. I like bread that's made, pew, 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 10 different directions. I like bread that is made fresh and milled from the whole grain. But you know what? You can't buy that in the store no more. And you got to go to a bakery. So, like a $10 loaf of bread, but it's so delicious. I decided now I'm going to start making my own bread. Here I go, digressing. I'm watching my friend. She is tearing it up, right? The whole last year, I'm watching her teaching classes, going to other countries, taking yoga. I love yoga. I just recently got back into yoga my own self. And so I had to have her on my podcast. And the conversation was very interesting because we both have been kind of going through this thing at the same time where we forgot ourselves. The pandemic comes along and all those things that I was doing out in the world, all of a sudden I couldn't do. I wasn't performing with my band anymore. We couldn't go to any clubs. And people couldn't come see me in person. So here I was, doing a lot of facilitating on Zoom, which, by the way, y'all, I'd been doing way before y'all learned what Zoom was, because I do private sessions. Some of you know that I'm a bit psychic. I do what's called intuitive consultations, and I record them on Zoom, so you can go back and look at them. They live there forever, right? So we had this conversation about how now that we're back out in the world again, would we like to go back and revisit all those things we used to do, like Pilates, for example, for me, lifting weights, and not just the working out stuff, yoga, taking long walks. I was doing them all on my treadmill and throwing algorithms at the TV, straighten up or die now kind of things. Yes, I know I'm a bit weird, but we easy for me to say. What we discovered was we hadn't been making ourselves a valuable product. What is that exactly? For me, it means putting myself first. And that can sound very narcissistic in this reality, but it can be very nurturing if you can flip the coin for a minute and take a look at the actual words, taking time for me. Yeah, I'm not telling you not to be there for your families. I'm not telling you not to be there for your mate, your lover, your brother, your mother, whatever it is. Be there for all those people, but imagine being there for you first, what that creates. My friend was saying, that she would get anxious, cranky. For me, I get impatient. I'm like, can we get there already? And if I don't get enough rest and I'm tired and I've got a lot going on and then I got to pause for something, I'm like, all right, just give me the information so I can get through it. I can get back to my life again, right? Is that a kindness to me or anyone else around me? No. So she was talking to a friend of hers that's got her own business, entrepreneur, very influential, easy for me to say, Helen Invisalign. So her friend was saying, you don't notice it at first, but it's this thing where burnout is not necessarily you need a bunch of sleep. You don't see the warning signs, burnout. And it could be as simple as somebody says something to you and it pisses you off. You're like, really? You're going to say this to me? And yeah, I've said this many times in classes I'm facilitating or with clients. This is no damn business. I have no damn business about what other people think of me. It's coming from something they're going through, not necessarily me. If they have a point of view about me being a certain way or not a certain way, it's really more about what they themselves are not willing to see. I heard this once. I love it. I use it a lot. You spot it, you got it. If something is giving you cranky pants or making your butt itch by watching someone else's world, is it possible that that is something that you have not actually looked at for yourself? And what a gift that is. What a gift. We got to that piece too. It's like the pandemic has really been a gift for me, y'all. I mean, it showed me a lot of things that I would have never seen in my busy lifestyle or whatever, or showed me what I wasn't willing to see maybe. Everything that I thought was real and true for me kind of turned out to not be, more or less. Like everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. That's an Access Consciousness tool, by the way, y'all. And even though I've known that tool for a long time, it gets you out of your head because it doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical. Everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing's the opposite of what it appears to be. But it's that willingness to actually look at something and say, hey, is this real and true for me? What is true for me that I've not yet discovered? That is something I say to myself every morning and every night now. It's like, because I've discovered a lot of things that aren't true for me during this time. And I'm that team player person. In fact, I'm a little righteous about it. I'm always like, I'm in a few bands, but I'm in this one band in particular. And the band leader is a lot like me, kind of bossy. You want it done this way. I feel like when I write a song, I'm hearing all the parts. I'm not just hearing the lead part. I'm hearing all the harmonies. I'm hearing all the accompaniment. I'm hearing the music. And when I dropped my album back in March of 2020, we know what happened. I didn't get to actually go out and perform it. I was very particular with how I wanted the tracks to be. So I got together with my lead, the lead guitarist, let him do what he wants. Ping Rose is very talented. So I let him just finger it out. I don't play guitar. I play violin, which is very similar to bass. So I'm telling my bass player, and he's amazing, and he knows what I'm talking about. Something I want this part to be like, and I want the drums to be like this, and I want the keyboards. Well, actually, I let the keyboard more or less pick what he wanted to. I guess I'm not as righteous as I thought I was. But the whole thing is I was a control freak about it, right? And more or less. And so there's this one band, and I'm always being really righteous about, I'm dialing it back, y'all, about being a team player. People ask me to contribute, and I'm the first one to raise my hand. I want everybody to win. I didn't realize how weird that is. That is not normal in a lot of ways. And what I discovered was, I'm willing to help others, but do they have my back also? And sometimes they do. I've got some amazing friends. I do. I have, fortunately for me, men and women that have my back. And here's the difference. I now too have my back. And if it's not going to create greater for me, I'm not going to choose it. That's me having my back. I have learned the art of saying no. The art of saying no. Sometimes that's the kindness, not just for yourself, but for those around you. So, you're not biting their head off. I do get impatient, mainly with me. Why am I not creating my life even grander than I already have? And oh my gosh, y'all, I have the best life. I have the best freaking life. I get to take care of my mama. I promised her she could die in my house. Sounds funny. She's not doing so well most of the time, but I got her here. It's a gift. It's a gift. And it's actually teaching me to be the space of allowance, to be kinder to myself, to not have to control everything. How boring is that anyway? Because you can't really do it. So what would it be like if you made yourself the valuable product? Why not try it? And this is what my friend said, Emily Russell. Thank you, Emily, for this piece. Just for 1 minute, start with 1 minute of your day. And maybe, if you're always sitting down in front of a computer, you just get up for 1 minute and, go out in your yard. She didn't say this exactly, but this is what I was thinking when she said it. Go outdoors, go outside and put your toes in the grass. Of course, if it's snowing and raining, perhaps that's not the best choice, but walk around for a bit If you're constantly up and around, maybe sit down on the couch for a minute. And she pointed out, don't make it about opposites. That's not what we're talking about. It's about choosing just for you for 1 minute. Start with 1 minute and then increase upon that. And see if that'll help you find you happy, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for those of you that are listening now or in the future. I sure do appreciate you. And I'll be back next Wednesday. I've found that the end of my day is actually a better time to be there. So somewhere between 5 and 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, be looking for me. Maybe hit the subscribe button so you'll know when I go live. Share this with someone you think it could help. Yeah. How about you choose for you for a change? And don't make it wrong. That's all I got. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Till next time. Ciao, ciao, y'all.